One of the biggest controversies about veganism is the concern over vitamin B12. Vegans, even more so than non-vegans, will majorly throw down about whether you should supplement or not. It gets a bit intense. For some reason, that's how I always imagine vegans fighting. So I may live to regret this, but let's talk about B12. People think that the only foods naturally containing vitamin B12 are animal-derived foods. This is not true. In a sense, no foods, plant or animal-based, naturally contain vitamin B12. You see, B12 comes from two sources, dirt and us. Let me clarify. B12 is a waste product of bacteria that can be found in soil and inside your body. So, of course, animal products are going to contain traces of B12. Animals eat food from the soil, as well as produce their own B12. Of course, with the crap that we feed our food animals, farmers today actually inject their livestock with B12 in order to be able to say that their animal products contain B12. Meat eaters are actually more likely to have a B12 deficiency than vegans. In fact, 99% of people with B12 deficiency are consumers of animal products. This is because the B12 in meat is easily destroyed both by the heat that's needed to cook it and the hydrochloric acid in our stomachs that's needed to digest it. Studies show that those following a typical animal-based diet require more vitamin B12 than those who do not, because the typical diet leads to digestive atrophy. In addition, animal products contain a vast number of other factors which inhibit vitamin absorption. Dr. John McDougall has an interesting take on the hesitance to go vegan due to B12 concerns. He says, "Take a moment to compare the possible consequence of your dietary decision. You could choose to eat lots of B12-rich animal foods and avoid a 1 in a million chance of developing a reversible anemia. However, this decision puts you at a 1 in 2 chance of dying prematurely from a heart attack or stroke, a 1 in 7 chance of breast cancer, or a 1 in 6 chance of prostate cancer. The same thinking results in obesity, diabetes, osteoporosis, constipation, indigestion, and arthritis." His point being that a B12 deficiency is incredibly rare, while all of the detrimental health consequences of an animal-based diet are all too common. Now, surprisingly, our daily requirement for B12 is incredibly small, less than 3 micrograms, with 1 microgram equal to 1/1,000,000th of a gram. And our own bodily production of B12 is incredibly efficient. Dr. McDougall writes, "After excretion through the bile into the intestines, most of the B12 is reabsorbed by the ileum for future use. As a result of this recirculation, it actually takes on average 20 to 30 years to become deficient. People on diets lower in B12 may be obtaining more B12 from reabsorption than from dietary sources." Now, all of this is not to say that B12 deficiency does not exist. A B12 deficiency is a serious disorder, but it's not caused by veganism. Most often, B12 deficiency is due to an absorption issue in the body, such as that caused by Crohn's disease, celiac disease, and other digestive disorders, which must be corrected with the help of professionals. Simply throwing supplements at an absorption issue will not solve anything. Now, B12 deficiency can also be caused by other things that we put into our body. B12 must be combined with a mucoprotein enzyme called intrinsic factor, which is normally present in gastric secretions. If the intrinsic factor is impaired or absent, B12 synthesis will not take place, no matter how much of it is present in the diet. And the intrinsic factor can be impaired by things like antibiotics, whether taken as a medication or within animal products like milk, as well as alcohol, smoking, and stress. There is also the issue of our soil. Back in the day when soil was rich with organic matter and we didn't wash the crap out of our produce, it was easy to get B12 from our fruits and vegetables. However, in today's industrial agriculture world, our soil has been sterilized. This is why it's important to eat as much organic, locally grown produce as possible. Plants grown in organically managed soil make significantly higher levels of usable vitamin B12. So after all of that, you might be asking, do I supplement or not? Well, the first step before any supplementation would be to find out if you're even deficient in B12. But keep in mind that low serum B12 levels do not necessarily equate to a B12 deficiency. Just because there is a low level of B12 in the bloodstream does not necessarily mean that there's a deficiency in the body as a whole. It may well be being utilized by the living cells. Now, in the same vein, if you do supplement with B12, your blood levels could go up dramatically. But that doesn't mean that your body is actually able to use the synthetic vitamin. Dr. Douglas Graham says, "Supplementation has proven to be an inadequate and incomplete method of supplying nutrients. Most nutrients are known to interact symbiotically with at least 8 other nutrients. And considering this, the odds of healthfully supplying any nutrient in its necessary component package becomes infinitesimally minute." Basically, you could load up on a bunch of B12, but if you don't have all of the other cofactors that are needed, you're not going to be making a difference. Now, I can't say what's right for you in your situation. If you have underlying conditions, I would urge you to get those addressed. But if you're really that worried about your B12, you can supplement and allow your body to expel the excess, leaving you with really expensive pee. So, in short, eat organic, marginally dirty fruits and vegetables, and be nice to your body's bacteria, and you'll be set. I hope this has provided you with some information for your B12 related concerns. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you soon.